I'm appalled at what you said on that pod thing. It's disgusting.
This is the After the Show podcast. It's where we get honest and real with yo ass. So sit back, relax, have a blast, because it's time for the After the Show podcast.
Yeah, hello and welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast for Thursday. What's going on, y'all?
What's going on?
Welcome to it. Very informative regular show today that if you somehow missed, you need to go back and check out. A lot of things that I had learned, including wasabi in America is bullshit.
What?
Yes. It's really just horseradish and like spicy mustard and some green food coloring, I think is what the three things were.
The green food coloring is the part that pisses me off the most because it says to me, we know what we're doing and we're just trying to trick you because we can and you're stupid, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
What's next? Hot Pockets? Ford cheese? Aren't made with real Ford cheese?
Yeah.
Well, I think everybody knew that. That ain't real cheese.
Three of the cheeses are just a different form of glue.
I've been eating glue for over 30 years
I would not be a bit shocked. Would that shock you if you found out? Yep.
Nope.
Elmer's cheese.
If you told me they were making like a dash of Elmer's glue in the cheese of Hot Pockets, I would not be shocked.
Yes. Or the little liquid cement.
And guess what? I'd still fucking eat them.
I know you would. That's the fucking problem. You and half of America doesn't care. Half of America does not give a shit.
It's not that I don't care. I'm a man. One man.
I know. But I'm over here screaming about it because I care too much. But a lot of people don't give a shit. They're like, give us the chemicals, give us the food dye. You're stupid. We don't care.
I don't think y'all are stupid. And it just sometimes it's about convenience for people. It's just, sometimes you're at the store, you're running late. Hot Pockets are quick to put in the microwave. Bada boom, bada bing.
Yeah, one text we got because we were asking about, well, what about Japan if you go there? Because apparently the actual wasabi plant or what they get wasabi from, that plant's very rare and it's very expensive if you do it. And they said we went to Japan in March this year. Real wasabi is hard to come by there too.
Really?
Unless you go to an ultra high-end sushi place. Also low-end sushi there is miles above the best that America has to offer.
Really?
So, I mean, even their worst place would be better than what? Nobu? Is that like does Nobu do sushi?
They do.
Okay.
Is Nobu, that's definitely not a chain? Is that a restaurant?
Oh, it's a chain.
It is a chain.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a chain.
But it's a fancy chain?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very expensive. Everywhere you go. They got one in Miami and they've got one at the O Resort.
Yep. They've got one at the Shore Club in Miami. I think New York.
L.A.?
I'm sure there's a Nobu in L.A.
I always hear that in shows. We're going to Nobu.
Yeah, there's a couple of those places that the bigger cities have that they're just, and I think that's part of what they do for their marketing. Everything is so insanely, ridiculously expensive. And so Miami has about 3 or 4 of those kind of places. And I know LA and New York has that as well, where you cannot plan on having a meal for less than $1,000.
And shit that, man.
Yeah.
And you wonder why I eat fucking Hot Pockets.
It's pretty expensive. Nobu is, I've eaten there. It's pretty expensive. I mean, I can do it for way less than $1,000, but you can't go to Nobu and have like a bunch of food and a bunch of cocktails. You just can't. You got to be like, all right, I got some Fireball in my purse. I'm going to get one drink.
Well, I'd heard a story of somebody that went to the Nobu and they ordered everything on the menu. Which
what?
I'm like, what a baller move that
Who
is.
did that?
I'm not going to say, but it's like it's a recognizable name and it's a baller kind of move, and that's what you do.
Damn, that is a baller move.
Yeah. So
Are they single?
No, but I wonder what that would cost if you went to a place like that. You're probably talking $25,000, I'd assume.
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, you could look at the menu and add it up pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I guess that's it. And yeah, somebody said just because it's expensive doesn't mean it's good, and absolutely. And I don't get that. I don't know why you'd even. I grew up in a place where you just wouldn't even think about that. But I guess maybe part of it's the status of it, or if you just have so much money, maybe you have a company and you have expenses to do that kind of stuff, and it's more to say that you did, and you would close a deal. These would probably be high-end people. Imagine if you close a deal that's worth $5 million.
Because you did that.
Right, dropping $25,000 on dinner.
It's all relative, baby.
Right. Exactly. So that's the only way I could think that would make any kind of sense.
Wouldn't it be nice to be invited to a dinner like that and you're just a straggler and then the person orders everything on the menu and you're at the table and you get to enjoy it and not pay the bill? That would be heaven.
It's a different world, and sometimes you see it in movies or you hear stories about it down here, and that's the furthest or the closest connection I have to any of it. I often wonder, I was like, okay, would it be awesome or not? Because at least in the movies when you see that, and they're living that kind of lifestyle, you don't really know who your friends are. They seem like they're miserable, and it's easy come, easy go. And that's a lot of what the movie stuff. And so I wonder the people that have that, are these people that are truly, genuinely happy that are living this kind of lifestyle, or is it just a miserable existence where you don't trust anybody? Your whole life is a lie because you really don't have that money, and you're trying to float 3 different things to make it look like you got these means when you don't.
I have a very good girlfriend who is a billionaire with a B.
Yeah.
And she, on the reg, invites me to do very special things with her. And I can tell you, she's one of the happiest people I've ever met in my life.
Good for her.
She walks through life with fairy wings and tiptoes, and she probably farts glitter, and she gives gifts. She lives life to its fullest. She keeps people around her that are awesome, and she gets rid of people that aren't. And she looks like one of the happiest people I've ever known.
But if you talked to her and she were honest, and I'm sure when she talks to herself, her own inner monologue, does she ever question, are these people really my friends?
That's a great question. And you know what? I'm going to see her soon. I will ask her. Look, how do you know that people are really your friend or just here because you get cool things?
If you had no money tomorrow, how many of these people are still going to come over and want to hang out with you when you can't even give them a glass of cold lemonade?
Wonderful question. I think I'll ask that.
The more you accumulate, the more chaos you create. From a certain point of view.
Yeah, no, well, you know what? I could break it down into layman's terms. Mo money, mo problems.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be saying that.
But then you got to just keep your circle tight.
I'm going on the Notorious B.I.G. angle. Yeah.
Not the Diddy quote.
No, it's not Diddy. I'm giving credit to B.I.G. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's a personality thing, and for me, that world turns me off on such a level. Yeah, of course, everyone wants some extra scratch. I definitely, but overly rich people and overly rich things, A, it doesn't impress me, and B, you're just a person like everybody else.
Well, if they're really, truly a nice person, it does really impress me. I think that, like, having a friendship with somebody like that, you can lead them to so many great charitable endeavors and help them, because rich people have to give charitable donations. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
And you can help them navigate that world, and it really is a beautiful thing to be able to use their money for good.
Yeah, and I'm not saying there's not nice billionaires out there, or nice million. Of course there are. There's people that do great things with their money. But overall, that world, hey, we're gonna go on the yacht today. I would be like, have fun, guys. Tell me, it's not my cup of soda.
Yeah, I think you and I are a lot wired that way, and the reason being, even if I had the means and could choose to live that lifestyle, when I've been in those circles and we do some events or you do hang with some people that are there, I sometimes just I don't feel the authenticity. To me, going to Flanagan's and talking to somebody that you could tell they're just kind of getting
Flanagan's.
by. I have the best conversations with them, and they're genuine. I know that they're talking to me for the right reasons. I'm talking to them for the right reasons. I just don't get that feeling when I'm around very wealthy people. I feel like it's a performance. I feel like this is all an act. And I don't really know who you are. You're not going to know who I am. I'm not going to give you anything, and vice versa. I just don't feel like I have real conversations.
Not everybody's like that.
I think when I walk into it, I feel that way a lot of times. And I think
I understand your feelings, by the way.
If you get to know somebody on a deeper level, then yeah, you could get to that point where you start to see the true them. But, I've never gotten in a situation where I've developed a deep relationship with anybody of that level of wealth.
I'm a small town kid from Lake Park. I don't want to go to, it's just not my world. I remember I dated 2 really wealthy girls back to back in high school, and
one of them Eskimo brothers with Panda.
One family was way nicer than the other. I can tell you that much. It's a different world. It was a world I was not comfortable in.
Yeah, right. And thank God he's not giving me all this money because I don't know.
He hasn't given me much, and he gave me a wife that likes to spend.
Yeah, he gave me enough.
Again, let's not get it twisted. I want more money in my life.
Right.
Of course.
Yeah.
But you're talking about that world that they live in, and that's a different kind of question.
Yes, from these small glimpses I've had into the lives of people with that kind of money, sometimes I see that there are a lot of problems that I wouldn't want myself. In the simplicity of what I have, I would prefer, and I honestly would not trade my life for theirs.
But here's the cool thing about being in your position, and I almost married into a very, very wealthy family. It didn't work out, so I didn't. But I got to see behind the curtain, and as a girl that grew up poor, it is fascinating.
It is.
Because you
I'm
can see like, wow, these people live differently. It is a fun thing to see and analyze, and from the distance, you can really see, okay, money makes some people douchebags, but money makes other people fantastic, lovely people. And it's really fun to sit back and judge, because that's one of my favorite things to do, judge how money affects different people differently. It's fascinating.
A lot of the people I've seen with it, it kind of plays into what Chris Rock has always said. You're only faithful as your options. And what the money does for a lot of people, it enables them to make bad personal decisions that are bad for their interpersonal relationships. Their families are kind of a disaster and the kids don't like them and all that kind of stuff. I've seen that kind of stuff. And it's because they have the means with the money that they put themselves in those kind of situations to have affairs and to do things like that, or to just throw money at their kids and never actually build a real relationship with them. And I do see some of that. And that's where I think it is a challenge that if you had that kind of wealth, to say, I've got to be very proactive to make sure that I'm making good moral decisions with it, because money can ruin you. And then I'm also connecting on legitimate levels with my family and the people I should be loving. If not, at the end, so many of those movies, the person dies rich, alone in bed, and their kids don't want to talk to them.
And you got to be a person that makes an effort every day, I think, to be grounded.
Yeah.
To live in reality, to think like a person who has to, be out there working every day, and put yourself in their shoes. And every interaction that you have with people, you could, you're pretty much the employer of everybody you come in contact with. I've seen it. It's crazy. But if you remember to put yourself in their shoes, I think you can navigate it. I've seen it.
You can. Well, for instance, a Warren Buffett. And I think what it is you see that the money can't be an answer to all of your problems. That sometimes you have to work through difficult situations and still struggle because it's the right thing to do.
Right.
And ultimately, at the end, you're going to wind up better. If you're always throwing money at every single problem, you're not really fixing anything and the problems grow. And he seems like one of those few people. And what is he doing? He's giving away basically all of his money and not going to ruin his kids with it.
You're right.
Because he does see that.
There is something to that. And you see, like, the people that are genuine with it, they really enjoy giving it away. They really take a sincere thrill out of seeing how it changes other people's lives.
And that would be a blessing. Now, that I would love.
Yes.
I would love to have money for that, not for me, but for others, and just to see how you can change lives. And, I mean, what Mr. Beast had done is just one example where he went out and there were all these blind people and he paid to have the surgery for them that they couldn't afford so that they could get sight.
Wow.
And you may say, there's this.
Is that real?
To an extent. I mean, there are some things that people will throw back a little bit. So I'm just throwing that out as one quick example. But that would be something where if you could pay off medical debt for people or things where they're really strapped, to be able to have money to do that and see your money changing people's lives.
The problem with that, though, is you can't get a tax receipt for buying sight for the blind unless you do it through Lighthouse for the Blind, and then it's a grant that they do.
You know,
it's a tax thing too.
Yeah.
Everybody looks out for themselves. A lot of times that tax receipt is very important, and you can't get that if you give it to a random guy on the street.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how to deal with big money. I'll probably never have that problem, but if I did, I'll look into tax receipts. Now, you were talking about your trip to Italy, and one of your friends who's in the spiritual thing had talked about going and taking your shoes off and kind of walking in the sand to recharge your chakras. And one person texted in, they said what V was saying is correct. Recharging electricity in your body Search up touching trees every day and the electrical charge in your body. I'm touching my tree and grass every single day now, and I'm sleeping better because of it.
Really?
Okay.
Sometimes while I go outside to sleep, believe it or not, I can have a more comfortable sleep outside and fall asleep quicker and more restful. Then all of a sudden I wake up and go, "What the fuck am I?"
What about that prowler you caught on your camera back there?
Whatever. I'm not going to change my life because some fuck face is out there trying to fuck with me.
If the prowler tiptoes over you, grab his ankle and beat his ass.
There you go. I'm such a great fighter.
Somebody said, I think Virginia just watched Die Hard. Make fists with your toes in the carpet. Remember that? That was his whole thing. That's how he wound up barefoot.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I don't remember. It's been a long time since I watched Die Hard.
It really it holds up still.
I mean, the amount of drinks I've had since Die Hard.
It was high on the list of rewatchable movies that we brought up earlier this week. I was like, yeah, it is. It's one, honestly, I don't watch it every year, but we watch it probably every other year at Christmas now. I'm like, yeah, I don't get sick of this movie. It is. It's a very good rewatchable movie, no doubt. Okay, got some emails here. Continuing on the education. Learned a little something from Emily's email about Tim Hortons from a Canadian listener. She said, I am a day behind, but I've been hearing you chat a lot about Tim Hortons after Virginia went to Buffalo. She lives in Ontario, Canada, born and bred. And you can tell the gang that Tim Hortons are on every corner in Canada, not just border cities. They're definitely comparable to Dunkin', but Dunkin' does drinks way better. I've been giggling hearing Virginia and Jaybird talk so highly about their experiences, so I wanted to email. Tim Hortons is a staple for sure. I get a steeped tea there often, and people swear by their coffee. My boyfriend refers to it as swill, watery shit. However, it was funny for me to hear all the rave reviews about their baked goods in particular. And these parts, they're notoriously known to have mediocre food at best. They are bottom of the barrel when it comes to their food. Like, I'd have to be desperate or starving to choose to eat there. So either Buffalo does Tim Hortons better than Ontario, Canada, or Virginia and Jaybird have a low bar for donuts and muffins.
Look, there's not a lot of highbrow pastry in Buffalo. Have you been to Buffalo? It's Buffalo. So, I mean, my husband likes it, so I get excited because he's excited. But is it fine pastry? Absolutely not.
I mean, clearly it doesn't take much to impress me. I was talking about Hot Pockets earlier.
Well, you're like my husband. You love like pastry and you love like, you know, snack foods, some of them in a cellophane wrapper. And so I just figured you would love their chocolate chip muffin because he loves their chocolate chip muffin.
That's been the biggest thing I've cut out, though, is sweets. That's one thing that I just, for some reason, I don't crave them like I used to.
Interesting.
It's a lot of calories usually for not much.
Who are you?
I'm just, look, I still eat. I like pie. I love donuts. I'm just saying I don't crave it like I used to. I used to be able to eat like donuts during the daytime. I can't do that shit. That
Daytime donuts?
Yeah, that.
Do you now only eat them at night?
Yeah, in
the cloak of darkness.
I get a sweet tooth at nighttime. That's what seems to happen, and that would happen to my mom. And I wonder if that's hereditary.
It could be menopause too.
Yeah.
I started getting that, and I never craved cakes or cookies.
But like around 9 p, all of a sudden, I'm like, well, what kind of sugary, chocolatey shit can I eat right now? It's odd. I don't crave it during the day.
Okay.
But nighttime, the moon, the night falls.
It probably has to do, I mean, there's so many things. It probably has to do with your hormones, the way it's affecting and hitting at that time.
Yeah.
The more I learn about the hormones, it does affect a lot of your desires.
Yeah, so many desires.
So many desires. Blame it on the hormones. Now, does this sound good? Because there are a few confections that are out there to try. Oreo and Reese's are collaborating to make Oreo-flavored Reese's and Reese's-flavored Oreos. Are they doing the right thing?
Why? Let's see how it goes. It could work.
Okay.
That could. I try that out. The thing I'll say about Oreo, they are not afraid to try out new stuff, and a lot of their new stuff is good. I used to hate Oreo. I think whatever they did, they reconfigured their ingredients. I speak highly of Oreo now.
I think they switched up their formula to save money, and then they listened to the backlash of people saying, Oreo, you don't taste as good anymore. And they went back to the original formula because it did taste shitty for a while.
I mean, I could fuck up an entire round of lemon Oreos and not even I'll be watching TV going for another one. I'm like, oh shit, they're all gone. I ate them.
They only have like 50 calories each, so you could eat 3.
I know, but that's the kind of stuff I crave at nighttime.
And IHOP is introducing Dubai chocolate pancakes for a limited time.
Have you had the Dubai chocolate in the big giant bar?
Yes.
I had a better one. So the one that we had in studio wasn't great.
Okay.
I bought one from a different store. And it was fantastic. But it was like $12 for one chocolate bar.
Yeah, I liked it. It's a lot. And I think, to me, I need it in smaller doses. But what I did, my daughter Caitlin, for my birthday, I loved it. Have you seen the places that mix in the Dubai chocolate with strawberries? It's kind of like a little cup.
Oh, no.
It's fantastic. There are several places in South Florida doing it. She had it ordered, so you can find one. Loved it.
How many calories was that?
I don't know. I anymore, I'm a little bit different with my diet these days, and it was my birthday, so I'm not going to eat a cake, but I'm going to have a little bit of that. And I'm trying to do the chocolate. That's why the Queen put the dark chocolate in my coffee today, a little coffee mocha. I'm like, that's amazing. I might be doing that every day now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would love it for you to get addicted to chocolate, like a Wonka kid.
Getting there.
All of a sudden, we got a goose this goop.
I'll have to bring in the chocolate that I'm eating. I think you would think it's shit. I think you'd hate it.
If it's dark,
it's got a lot of cacao.
It's 90%.
Cacao.
And I guess I didn't realize that. They do a grading on it, a radiant.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Like my daughter's like, I can't have anything that's more than 60. Mine's 90.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty intense. So it's pretty much just you're eating this thing for health. That's why I'll bring it in, see if you like it.
I will. I'll definitely try it.
Okay.
I'm not a big dark chocolate fan. Never have been.
I'm okay with it. I like it. And it's one of the few things, most of the stuff I eat is just functional. And so I don't necessarily always, at least when it comes to this.
90% is too high. I can't get down with that. I need to keep it around 60%.
You're like Caitlin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do it. And I'm like, it's good. It's good enough. I enjoy it.
Maybe I'll like it. Who knows? My palate's changing so often.
Okay. I'll have to bring in a little chunk for you tomorrow. See how you feel about it. Got Christina in Brooklyn who said Virginia's wrong about D.C.
I've never been, but yet I'm judging it.
Yep. That's what you do, though, right?
Yeah.
I've got no experience on it, but I can tell you it's terrible.
Never been.
Yep. She said, we were 22, had so much fun on a little road trip we did down 2 nights in D.C. So many areas you can bar crawl, find interesting, unique places to party. One late night place we went to kind of looked like a rundown diner on the outside. You went in, paid $25, and they gave you an empty glass milk bottle worth whatever cocktail you had. You got $5 back, and at the end of the night, when you returned the glass bottle, it was weird, but you got hammered for $20 and danced all night long, and this was back in 2018. Yeah, it sounds like fun. You know what? There are certain towns, though, I will tell you, that the towns can be awesome, but you do need to know where you're going. And I think D.C. might be that town. And I've been there. I've not really necessarily partied like a rock star in D.C. I've done a lot of the touristy type of stuff. But what I've kind of gathered, there are some bad areas of D.C.
Oh.
And so you really kind of need to know the ins and outs. It would be a town that if you need to know the right reasons and the right places to go. And I think if you knew that, if you had the insider perspective, you would love D.C. But without it and flying blind, you may be like, this town sucks. I can see that.
So how do you get this list? How do you accumulate the best places to go? When you do your research, where do you look?
They've done enough lists now of like best bars, best rooftop bars in a city. So I start with those kind of lists and then you compare. I'll go through 3, 4, or 5 of them and you'll see the same names kind of popping up. And you're like, okay, well, if 5 different places have named this as one of the best bars in this town, I got to get there.
Okay.
And then a lot of times what you see and what's great in a lot of towns, the bars know this. They have bar districts. And so they're excited when a brand new exciting bar opens up because now they're a draw. And
flow.
For people like me, I'm going to hit all the ones that are in that pocket. And so you get almost a reputable area. And that's what's interesting. Towns like Atlanta, even Cleveland, I've seen their bar districts ebb and flow. They'll be hot for a while, kind of like if you go to Buckhead in Atlanta. You never know. Be like, what year is it? Is Buckhead still happening or not? And so you kind of have that little ebb and flow. And that's usually it. You can pinpoint it. That's why going to Austin, I think there's like a street, from what I'm gathering, kind of an areas I'm seeing where you've got, seems like a lot of cool bars.
Have you finished putting together your Austin list yet?
No, worked on it yesterday, but not even close to getting to where I want to be. I like to almost feel like an expert on the city rolling in.
Are you taking suggestions from KVJ Nation?
Yeah, had an email I read yesterday, and I entered all those in there, did a little cross-referencing. And so if anybody knows Austin and where to go, let me know.
I love it.
Yeah, excited to get there. It's going to be fun. Kind of a heads up, even here in South Florida, things are always changing, and they seem to be doing more with cameras. I was talking about how they're setting up speed cameras in Boca.
Yes.
My son's high school, they have them, and I told my wife, I'm like, and they're not really messing around. It doesn't sound like they want to tie you up in court. They just will send you a $100 fine. Doesn't put points on your license. And they're like going, look, speed as much as you want. We're cool with it. We're just going to send you $100 every time you do it.
I told you about that parking lot that I parked in Fort Lauderdale. There was nobody there. It was 9 a.m. It was dead. There was not a single car in the whole lot. They have cameras,
right,
and they take a picture of your license plate coming and going. They knew I was there for 30 minutes, and they sent me a ticket for $125 for parking and not paying.
It feels like they're trying to free up law enforcement with technology by using cameras on this kind of stuff. And the other thing I hear, too, one of the worst things is being a cop is pulling someone over.
Sure, because you never know who's going to shoot you.
Right. And so if you can have cameras doing that and you're just sending somebody.
And you're safe.
Yes. You keep law enforcement officers safe. You're still making the money off of those fines, fees, hopefully discouraging people from speeding and driving recklessly in those areas. But Aliona, she had said, I'm not sure if you guys have already talked about this, but I wanted to give you a heads up. I was driving in Delray Beach by the ocean, below the speed limit. Seatbelts were on. An officer was tucked away, didn't even see him. He pulled me over, asked me if I knew why I was being pulled over. And I'm like, no. And he's like, well, we got traffic cameras now that will see and scan your plate. And if it's expired, it lets us know to pull you over.
Wow.
I don't even know why they're messing with pulling you over. They should just scan it and send you a $100 fine or whatever. That'd be a lot easier and even wasting law enforcement's time.
I think the reason why they do that is just in case they're pulling somebody over that may
give you probable cause
warrants.
To find more.
Yeah.
Yeah, possibly. So she said, yeah, mine was a couple weeks expired. I already had an appointment at the DMV, and they let me go with just a warning. They were very kind, but yeah, they've got these in Delray for that reason now. So it's not just speeding, it's checking to see if your plate's expired.
There's been that time.
She was probably like, what did I do?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she was. She was
I'd be shocked.
kind of confused by it. One thing that we had talked about yesterday was CTE. It was all because of the guy who went into the building where the NFL headquarters are, killed 4 people. He was claiming it was CTE, and somebody brought up too, and that is right. He shot himself in the chest. That's when he took himself out because he wanted to preserve his brain so they could test for the CTE. That's why I started off the conversation and say it's going to be fascinating to see if he did have the CTE because he recognized he had mental health problems.
If he does have the CTE and they say he does, that is going to be a crazy twist to the story.
Or he just may not have that at all, and that's just an excuse to go up there and be a madman.
100%.
That's why I said I thought it was going to be interesting to find out if they do release that information. I hope they do. Is this a guy that truly did have CTE from playing high school football? Because Jesse had said, yeah, I found this podcast informative. It was on Wondery. It is Chris Nowinski who did this, and she said, my 6-year-old son has mentioned wanting to play football, and this podcast helped me frame my thinking on the topic. My husband and I are okay with him playing football once he's a certain age, at least 14 or older, and he can play flag until then. That's what we did, and you can play flag until 14. That was with the strategy we took with my son Cannon. We put him in tackle at 5. He got rocked, like his first time out there, and he was I'm like, what are we doing? He was miserable. He was crying his head off. He was 5 years old. He got trucked by a kid that was 8. And that's how
not
it works.
fair.
Right.
First of all, having 8-year-olds hitting 5-year-olds.
Right.
Come on.
That's where I was like, I don't trust
This
this.
league sucks.
I'm not one to breed a quitter, but we yanked him out after day 1, and I'm like, all right, he's not doing this.
It was a big fight that I had with my mom my freshman year in high school because my dad played football back in high school, and I wanted to play, and all my friends were playing, and my mom was so against it, and she ended up winning. I ended up playing fall baseball instead because I don't think my dad wanted to handle it anymore.
Dang.
She wouldn't back down from it.
Yeah.
And at that point, I'm just like, fuck it. Just give me my baseball glove.
I think it's a good fight to have. I know, and there's so much competition. There's so much money behind football. And look, now that, there's a kid that just went to Texas Tech and he just signed a $5 million NIL deal.
Wow.
So trust me, they're seeing that. Parents
That's money.
Yeah. And they're like, you don't have to play NFL to make countless millions of dollars playing football now.
People want to see the gladiators out there. I'm sorry, we're a sick species, and people who go out there and play, guarantee you, majority of them, if you ask them, say, "Do you care?" I mean, would you put your life on the line for doing this? Most of them would say, "Absolutely. This is how I would like to go out, being a gladiator, because this is what I love to do." Yeah,
but after doing some research and seeing it, I feel comfortable with that 14 or older is the right thing. And the good news, 7-on-7 is growing so much in South Florida it's really, you have minimal contact. You touch somebody and they're down, basically, is all it is. And, kids could run into each other, but they're wearing padded helmets and things like that as well. It's definitely a lot less head trauma than playing actual tackle football.
Pussies.
Exactly. And Mary had said, Happy Gilmore, if you didn't know, was dedicated to Dan Baker, who was a Palm Beach Gardens resident. He is not noted as the Gulf Tech advisor. He is in the film and is dedicated to him. He passed away December 13th in a car accident.
Oh, wow.
That's rough.
Yeah, but there is that angle, so if you do see that.
Look, if you're looking for something light and goofy, I highly recommend Happy Gilmore 2. Is it going to change your world? No. Is it as good as the first movie? No. But is it a strong sequel? I think it is. I think they had a lot of fun cameos, and I'm talking about cameos from characters of the first movie. That's what was cool about it.
Yeah.
Seeing certain jokes, seeing certain phrases,
right.
Seeing Shooter McGavin, all that stuff was really good to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to let you know, in closing here, Home Depot is selling a new Ultra Skelly, which is an app-controlled version of its super tall skeleton decoration. They say this one's only 6.5 feet tall, but I guess you'll get movement and all that.
Oh, these Halloween things are becoming next level.
Yeah, they're clearly making money, and people seem to be loving it. I know it's not just you buying it.
Every single year now, I'm seeing more of this shit in people's yards. They're getting bigger. They're getting weirder, strong. They're moving with all kind. They're blinking. They're howling.
And they realize that people love this shit.
They're cool, man. And they're not that hard to set up either.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think we had my 9.5-foot werewolf set up with under an hour.
Wow.
I'm bragging a little bit.
Yeah, it's not too soon to start thinking about Halloween, y'all.
It is not.
No,
Yep,
it's not.
right around the corner. So get ready. It's on its way. All right, we got one day left to get you the weekend. I hope y'all are here. We will talk to you tomorrow. Goodbye.